He was like, nope, 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 no, 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 not walking forward. Make sure that there are no monsters or tigers or lions in a bush that's going to come and eat him. He needs to just, check out the surroundings, like a little spy, make sure that everything's all right. Hello everybody and welcome back to my podcast, Esme's Country Life. Before we begin, I just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of the podcast, Redpost. Redpost is an equestrian and country store based in the UK, but they also ship all over the world. They currently have a summer sale on, but it's only on for a limited time only, so be quick if you want to get some good deals. You can head over to redpostequestrian.co.uk. Also, I'm doing a meet and greet there on the 18th and the 19th of August, so really looking forward to seeing all of you. But anyway, let's get into the podcast. Let's have a little bit of a chat. Just as I've started, a fly has entered. I was going to say the studio. We're kind of like in a bay of a garage, so very glamorous, very fancy. If you've ever wondered what it's like to, where I film that stuff or record stuff, because it is a podcast, I feel like I still do that. I'm so used to being in like video mode. I always say record or like video rather than like, record a podcast because it's more audio. But anyway, no, I'm doing good. I feel like every week I go, I feel like I don't have much to talk about. And then I write a little list in my notes app. I feel like my notes app has been my favourite thing recently. Like that is my go-to thing. I have so many lists there and actually it's been keeping me really organised. Before I would always, this little life hack for you, if you put everything in your notes app, but then you pin the notes, you can have like the things at the top. So for example, a shopping list when I go, food shopping, make sure I don't forget anything, or I have a little podcast list as well, I have a little video ideas list. Like my notes app is probably one of my most used apps, if I'm honest, apart from, all the social media ones. But anyway, starting off, talking about social media, I thought we would talk about the new thing that has sort of cropped up this week. If you're not living under a rock, you will know what Threads are. But if you don't, basically, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg has gone along and been like, you know what? Why don't I make my own Twitter? So that's what Threads are. I tell you what, I have never really been a Twitter gal. I feel like a lot of people that are on it are kind of millennials or older. And being Gen Z or Gen Z, whatever you want to call it, I was just like a bit too late to the party. Like it was something that, my generation, I feel like we didn't really do. Like none of my friends are on Twitter or use Twitter. Maybe some of you guys do, but I don't know. I felt like I do have a Twitter handle because when I made all my social medias, I was like I should probably have one just so so nobody steals it. But I don't think I've ever really posted on there at all. So my Twitter is just like dead. But I tell you what, I've actually been really enjoying Threads because it feels like everyone started at once. We're all in the same boat. You don't really know what's happening, and I feel like all social media apps, or I was going to say programs, that's not the right word. I feel like they're all very similar now. They're basically all either shorts, reels, or TikTok. Basically like 10-second videos to a trending sound that you get absolutely sick of because you've heard it so many times. It makes you want to pull your hair out, that kind of thing. And it's just also, I feel like social media is a very like busy place. Like it's very loud, it's very noisy, it's very colourful. So to go onto Threads, I don't know what it is. I find it so calming because there aren't, like, I wouldn't really say, I don't know. I put one video up. I don't really know if, again, it's very new. Nobody knows. There's also like no algorithm. There's no people kind of like trying to chase the fame. It just seems like a really chilled, sorry, this sounds like I'm doing like some sort of ad for Threads. I'm not. This is just my personal opinion. But it just seems like a really nice little chilled, place where you can chat with people, talk about things. Very different vibe to Twitter. That was one of the reasons why I never really got into Twitter, because for me, like from an outsider perspective, it just seemed like a place where people either shout their very angry opinions that they're very passionate about, or people who can post more, more spicier pics that you would probably be banned at posting on Instagram. So again, none of those things are very, enticing for me. I'm a very wholesome gal. That kind of stuff is not for me. I feel like Twitter is just drama central, and yeah, I'm not about that life. But Threads, on the other hand, is just everyone having a little bit of a chat. I mean, that might change, and then it might, go to how Twitter is. You never know. But for the first sort of week, it's got over 100 million users now, I think, which is for a social, that is just that's wild. That is wild when you think about it. That many people just all bam, all at once. Anyway, but no, it seems really lovely. I've like posted some little behind. Do you know what it feels like? It feels like my YouTube community tab. I don't know how many of you guys interact on there. I feel like my community tab viewers are like, I don't know, I feel like we have like, I don't know how to say this in like a not cringy way, but I feel like because not as many people read my YouTube community tab, it just feels like, I feel like I see everyone's comments and I see people who comment regularly and recognise people and that kind of thing. So it's just like a really lovely little place where I just have a little chat about what I've been up to with the horses. Like it's a bit different to an Instagram story because that's just like a photo and like a tiny little caption of what you've been up to. But I feel like on there, it's a bit like the podcast. Maybe not, I feel like I talk about more horsey stuff on there, to be honest, but it's a bit like the podcast, but in like text form. I think maybe that's the best way to describe it. It's just like me saying my thoughts, what I've been up to, weird things the horses have done. So no, I've been really enjoying Threads. I'm trying to think of other interesting things I found in there, but honestly, it's so interesting seeing like everyone who you kind of, because it doesn't feel as kind of like down into the deep end because you have all the people there you can choose to follow that you already follow on Instagram. So I already have, you know, the people that I kind of watch or follow and that kind of thing. But also, it's just because there aren't many people on there. I think I've only got 6,000 followers. It feels all kind of new and shiny, like when you first start social media and you see your engagement go up and I feel like there's more people, like because there's less people, I feel like I talk to people more. I don't know. You know what I mean. But yeah, no, I think I'm really enjoying it at the moment. We'll see how it goes. Talking about, Threads, I did post on there, which I don't think I posted on any other of the social medias, that I fell off yesterday. So I thought, you know what, talk about that. So I was riding Casper. I feel like Casper is definitely the horse that I can't touch wood, I can't actually remember. When did I last fall off Joey? I think last time I fell off Joey, it was probably just like I landed on my feet and it was something very undramatic. Like, we probably got excited after a jump or, like, something like that, and I just slipped off, and I was like, oh, time to get back on, that kind of thing. But no, I feel like I've actually fallen off Casper quite a bit recently. Not that much. It's just, like, I think last time I fell off him was probably across the bridle path, where he spooked at my dad, who was taking photos in a bush. It's always bushes. Casper's the thing about bushes. He doesn't like them. It's because, that was the reason that I fell off yesterday. So, it was in the evening. Just exercised Joey, he was really good, went and got Casper. Now, my granddad is always like around kind of the farm with a wheelbarrow doing things, and Casper, actually, his favourite food, this is such a random thing, please let me know if any of your horses or horses that you know really like eating thistles, but thistles are Casper's favourite food. National flower of Scotland. Hey, Team Scotland. But no, he likes eating the flowers, but he also likes eating the actual, like, prickly bits as well. And he does it really delicately. He almost looks like a giraffe kind of eating it. But no, he absolutely loves thistles. So that's like a little random fact for you all. So my granddad was cutting down all the thistles, and there was this massive thistle bush on the outside of the arena. And my granddad cut that down, but he, like, cut it down, but I think his wheelbarrow was overflowing, so he didn't put it in the wheelbarrow. So it was kind of like cut down but moved a little bit to the side. So it looked a little bit different. And with Casper, if something changes, oh my goodness, you know. Like, so anyway, something I've been doing recently with the horses, because especially when it's summer, they're a little bit more lethargic, they're a little bit more lazy. What I kind of do with them, something that I've been doing, especially with Joey, is when I first get into the arena, like, because my horses have loads of turnout. They're turned out most of the time. So they're kind of walking around anyway. So it's not like they've been in a stable and you need to give them a bit of a walk round for a warm up. So as soon as I get into the arena, go straight into trot, give them a little trot around, be like, okay, we're working, let's go. And I just feel like Joey's a little bit more up for it. He's like, oh yeah, we're trotting, let's go. He's like pumped up, that kind of thing. It's almost like, you know, when you go and do a workout and you listen to some really uplifting music. That's what it's like, but with me trotting Joey as soon as I get in the arena. He's like, oh, okay, we're going. So anyway, I thought, you know what? Give it a try with Casper. Give him a little trot around as soon as I get in the arena. Oh my goodness, was that a bad decision? Because normally when I walk around the arena, what I kind of forgot, / I don't really realise sometimes, is that Casper does need to walk around the arena first, just to, you know, check out his surroundings, make sure that there are no monsters or tigers or lions in a bush that's going to come and eat him. He needs to just, check out the surroundings, like a little spy, make sure that everything's all right. And I do normally walk him once round on both reins just so he has a good look around everywhere. Anyway, silly me decided, you know what, we'll do what I do with Joey. Let's just go into it. Let's have a little trot around. I probably made it about 3/4 of the way around the arena before we got to that thistle bush that had been cut down, which is lying on the ground, which looked different. And Casper was like, no, did a full 180 as quick as like the snap of my fingers. And it was 1 second I was on him, 1 second I was on the ground. And it was one of those things where it just happened so quickly. You're like, how did that even happen? But yeah, I was going to say I ate dirt. I more ate sand. Like I kind of landed on my legs, kind of landed on my knees. And then obviously it's been a bit dry lately. So I think just like a dust cloud of sand just went in my mouth. And you know what? Oh, it's the most horrible thing because then like for at least like an hour or two afterwards, unless you like brush your teeth straight away, you'll just like close your mouth or like grind your teeth, but not like proper like grinding, you know what I mean? And you'll just taste the sand and you can feel the grittiness of it. It's the grittiness that I think grosses me out a little bit. You can just feel the grittiness in your teeth. So that wasn't very fun. I mean, I'm completely fine. I said that on Threads. I told you guys about that and everyone was like, oh my gosh, you okay? Like I literally just, I landed. If I probably hurt myself, I'd let you know. I mean, I have had some impressive bruises. Actually, I've probably had more impressive bruises from just like walking into a stable wall or like tripping myself up on a broom. Or actually, do you know what it is? It's the metal feed bin. I always walk into the metal feed bin and that's how I get bruises. So I probably need to maybe put some foam on it or something because I'm a little bit accident prone. But no, so anyway, got back on, carried on. Like I didn't hit my head or anything. I literally just landed on my bum. Land on my knees kind of thing. So I got back on, walked him round after that to let him, observe his surroundings, make sure there's nothing else that he's going to freak out at. But then, no, he was good. It was fun. We did a little cross pole and oh my goodness, Casper's like a different horse when you go from flat work to jumping. Like it is literally like he goes from beach donkey to suddenly, oh my goodness, I have no brakes, I have no control. Okay, we're off then. I'm just gonna hold on tight and see where we go. But no, he was very good. He does listen to me. That sounds like he doesn't. I promise. Do a little half halt when he's like, okay, I'll slow down a little bit. But no, that was my sort of interesting story with that. So there we go. That was my fall off Casper yesterday. I will keep you updated if I fall off again, but I feel like it's, to be fair, I took Casper across the bridle path the other day and I think he spooked at some cows in a field. And again, he just jumps up in his like natural scared mechanism. We were cantering at the time as well. He literally leaped up in the air and did a 180. I don't even know how he does it. It's almost like he rears but doesn't because he doesn't even go that high up. But I did stay on for that one. So there we go. But again, it's like your life flashes before your eyes a little bit. So he has been a little bit more on the sprightly side recently. Don't know why. Obviously feeling good. Maybe had some fresh grass and he's like, oh yeah. But no. He's good. He's a very happy boy. He's been enjoying doing lots of hacking. There's actually somebody that keeps their horse at a yard down the road that we've been hacking with lately, and oh my goodness, he's had so much fun doing that. It's like he's got like a little friend with him. He's even though he's not a very social horse, like he is very much like a introvert. Don't talk to me, I'm going to go and stand on the other side of the field compared to all the other horses. But I think like part of him on the inside, actually, he does like enjoy it. He does enjoy a friend. It takes a while to warm up to people, but when he does, he's very sweet. He's very sweet. Talking about taking Casper out, I've just remembered that we actually took him to the beach the other day, and it was the weirdest thing because I've taken Casper to the beach so many times. I mean, to be fair, I don't think I'd take it. It'd been probably over a year since I last took him, and I feel like our beach that we go to, it always looks very different because it really depends on the tides and when you can go. You can only really go a few times of the year because a lot of the time, because we're south coast, it's pretty much like pebbles all like most of the time. But when the sea goes out and the tide goes out, there's this lovely bit of sand that's really nice that you can ride along, and oh my goodness, going flat out galloping on there is incredible. Although riding, I feel like I'm so paranoid now about ground, like especially we're on clay, so in the winter it's full on bog, in the summer it's like concrete. So even like locally where we are, I don't like to gallop too much just because I'm so worried about it being too hard on their legs, or what if there's like a rabbit hole and they trip. Or actually there was, on our local bridle path, there's this one bit where there are these huge badger holes. Oh my goodness. Like it's not good. But luckily badger holes are often kind of near where the tree line is. So that's not really, I'm not, riding through the trees. But it did remind me of when we were in South Africa, they had these, I think, were they anteater holes? Yeah, anteater holes. And they were, when I tell you, they were even bigger than the badger holes. Like, they were massive. One of the ladies there called Tanya, she was taking some photos of us and she was like, oh, I'm just going to stand back a bit so you're more in frame kind of thing. And she stood back and fell through this anteater hole. And, like, don't get me wrong, she's not the tallest of people. She's probably the same like height as my mum, like 5'3". Like, she was a smaller human being. But oh my goodness, she fell so far through this hole, we couldn't see the top of her head. She'd gone right under. And we were like, oh my goodness, where has she gone? It was almost like there was like a trap door there. And luckily she was completely fine. But we were like, oh my goodness. So that was one thing we did have to watch out when we were riding in South Africa. And we were riding kind of like along the trails. Our guide at the front would be like, mind the hole. And then you'd like point at where the hole was. And then like the whole ride going back would be like, mind the hole, mind the hole. But yeah, reminded me of that. But no, I am quite paranoid of like, please tell me I'm not the only one. I think especially after Joey had his injury, I'm just like, I just want to wrap my babies up in cotton wool and bubble wrap and all the things to keep them safe. So riding the beach is quite nice because it's not like really hard ground, although there are some areas where there's like, I don't want to say sinking sand, but the sand goes a little bit deeper. So as long as you're not on those bits, which... Sorry, I really had that was a tongue twister. As long as you're not on the bits where it's kind of like a little bit sinky, which is often kind of, you can see them because it's kind of like a different coloured sand, so it's all good. But one thing I did see on the beach was a little bit scary. It was like a metal pole / spike. I don't know if maybe that was from a shipwreck or from one of the boats, but it was honestly like a spear just sticking out of the sand, and I thought, goodness, I'm glad I've seen that, because imagine if Casper ran into that. So whenever I do go to the beach, I always do my little walk up and down first. Like sometimes we'll go like all the way along and then all the way back. Sometimes I just kind of like go up and down and then you can see all of my tracks, which is quite funny. Or should I say Casper's tracks? But because there was quite a lot of water on the sand, not like the tide wasn't out, but it was kind of like it just left like loads of little puddles and things. So the beach did look very different because there were all these puddles, and Casper is not the biggest fan of water. Like he's fine once his hooves are wet, and he's fine once he's in the water. Like he's all right with water jumps, but sometimes he does just have to stand there for 5 minutes, mentally prepare himself, look at the water, be like, okay, if you say it's okay, mummy, I'll go in, that kind of thing. Like he's good, like he will go in, but he to start with, he does like to just mentally prepare himself. I think that's the best way to describe it. He's definitely more of a show jumper than an eventer, let's just say that. But anyway, so there were all these puddles everywhere, and he just like planted his hooves down. He was like, nope, because you kind of had to walk over this little stream or this little puddle to get to the sandy bit, and he was like, nope, not walking forward. We bribed him with treats. I think my dad ended up leading him forward, and then he was like, okay, I'll go then, that kind of thing. But it was only like 2 minutes where he was like, nah, mate, this looks dodgy. I don't know why you want to take me here, but I don't like it. And once we walked him up and down the beach, he was fine, and he had a blast. Like once I'd checked all the ground and everything, there was nothing there. We had a good old gallop, and we had the drone up as well, because that morning I also filmed my morning routine video, which I'm very excited for you all to see on my YouTube. So yeah, that was really good fun. I feel like this was, I don't want to say one of the best morning routine videos, but we filmed it really cinematically. It almost seems like the start to a movie. I don't want to sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet too much there, but we pulled out the stops for this one. We put a lot, I put a lot of effort into all my videos, but this one we put a huge amount of effort and time into it. So I really hope you enjoy it. I'm actually going to be posting 2 versions because I really enjoy the kind of, because normally with my morning routines, put a bit of cute background music on, a little bit of me chatting, that kind of thing. Almost like podcast as me, or I don't know, do you know what I mean? Like a bit like I'm doing like my podcast, bit over the top of a video, chatting about what I'm getting up to, that kind of thing, what I'm doing in the video. But I thought, you know what? I really enjoyed the version without me nattering in the background. It's really calming, really relaxing. It's almost like an ASMR video, so I don't know if I'll title it ASMR, because it does have some really relaxing sounds, like all the sort of natural sounds. I don't know. Does that sound really weird? I don't know. I do find sometimes, like before we go to bed, watching a nice little relaxing video, or like a nice little, I don't know. Let me know if you'd like to see both versions. I'll put both versions out. We'll see which one does better. Me nattering away, or a nice peaceful, calming one where you can just kind of see what I get up to with the horses and my morning routine. And actually, I was going to say that it's not my first morning routine in the cottage, because I did do like a winter one, but this will be my first summer morning routine. I feel like you can probably go back I can't even remember, when did I do my first morning routine? Probably, I want to say like 2016. So I feel like it's almost like I can go back and watch what my life was like back then, like what my childhood bedroom looked like then and things like that. And I don't know, it's quite cute. It's almost like you can see me age. I'm not that old, but you can kind of see me grow up over the years, which is really sweet. And I don't know, sometimes I think about that. I'm like, will my future children ever watch my YouTube videos? I don't know. It's weird to think about, actually. I don't know. I don't want to go too deep into that topic, but at least they can see what I look like, when I was young, that kind of thing. But no, so yeah, Casper and I had a really good fun time at the beach. So my morning routine video should be out when this podcast is going out, because it's going out on Friday and this podcast is going out on the Saturday, or the Saturday, Sunday. It goes up on YouTube on the Sunday, goes out on everything else kind of like on the Saturday. So there we go. Go and watch it. That's your little call for action today, being like one of those shameless YouTubers which are like, watch my videos, please. But there we go. Please watch my videos. Anyway, what else? I'm trying to think of any other sort of funny stories or things that have happened. Tell you what, when I went to Wales with my boyfriend on holiday with his family, there was one story that I completely forgot about, which is quite funny, which I thought I'd tell you. And the reason why I remembered it is because it happened again the other day. Now, my boyfriend's dog Ruby, who's a Labrador, she does the most human-like burps. Please tell me that your dog also does human-like burps, because we actually had her for the day in the office the other day, and oh my goodness, it was so much fun. I loved having like a little office dog. Like every now and again we'd go out and we'd play, like fetch and things like that, and like she'd come up to the yard with us, and she's so good with the horses. Like we were doing lots of photos and things with Duke and my little mini rescue pony from World Horse Welfare that I rehomed, and we're doing loads of stuff with him. And even though like she knows, she's like wants to be friends with everyone, obviously, but she knows like not to get too close to his bum and not to get too close to him. And she's just such a good yard dog. Like she just poodles about, and her recall's really good. Like if I shout her, she'll come back. Although I do sometimes have treats on me, or she knows that she'll get like a belly rub or something. But no, she was really good the other day. We had a lot of fun with Ruby. And then while I was doing my like editing or like office desk work, she literally slept like right under where my feet were, right under my desk. And it just made me so happy. Like if you're ever sad, just have a little pooch with you to cuddle. I mean, obviously, getting a dog is a huge responsibility, and only get a dog if you have the time for that, which at the moment in my life I don't, but I enjoy having Ruby there every now and again. But no, so me and my dad were in the office, and Ruby did the most human-like burp, and my dad honestly thought it was me. And I was like, look, I know I did that fart that one time, but that was not me, that was Ruby. Like, I'm not really like a burpy person. Like, I can't even burp on command. Like I don't know, I'm just not a burpy person. But anyway, when we were on the beach in Wales, there was this cliff that all these people were doing rock climbing on, and we walked past, and Ruby did the biggest, most human-like burp ever. And like the whole, like it was so loud, the whole group kind of like turned around and looked at us, and we were like, Ruby. We were like, oh my God. And they definitely thought it was us, and we blamed the dog. But when I tell you, her burps are just so human-like. So there we go. That's a little interesting fun fact about Ruby. There we go. I thought I would talk about being an introvert, which, I don't know, probably is like a very random thing for me to just suddenly talk about, because especially me sitting here for, I don't know, how long do I normally talk for? Half an hour, 40 minutes, sometimes an hour, depends. I'm very good at I'm a very chatty person, but also I feel like I do need some alone time. And the other day, I don't know, I don't want to say I was feeling sad, because I live such an incredible life, which I'm so grateful for, and I have an amazing job and family and friends and that kind of thing. But, sometimes you just feel a little bit meh. And I realised the reason why I was feeling a little bit meh was because I just hadn't had any introvert time in so long. I think it's because I had a week away in Germany where I was working the whole time, I was chatting to people, that kind of thing, very social all the time. And then met up with my boyfriend and all of his family, and then that was a really chatty time. And then by the time I got back to work kind of on Monday, Tuesday, I just felt, I think also I was just a bit exhausted. And I think it's important, everyone knows, you got to eat a good diet, you got to have enough sleep, you got to have enough exercise. If not, you're going to feel a little bit meh. So I was I had a good night's sleep, and I'd been eating well, and I'd been, actually, to be fair, in Germany, I did a lot of walking, I got my steps in, but I didn't do any high active cardio normally when you're riding the horses, or when I go to the gym or do my exercises. So maybe that was a little bit as well. But I kind of I got home and I had a night to myself for once, and I kind of realised, oh my goodness, this is what I needed. I needed some time on my own just to recharge. And I think I just basically had my social batteries were very, very low. But also it's weird, because I think another thing that week that made me feel less meh again was I hadn't seen my friends. We're talking, this was beginning of July, for if you're watching this podcast later in dates and time, you don't know when I'm filming this. And I hadn't seen all of my girly friends since mid-May. And that, because I was away quite a bit with work and away on holiday and that kind of thing, and also a lot of my friends, this is a very busy time for them with work and stuff, so I just hadn't seen them in a while. After we all met up, oh my goodness, I didn't obviously it's important to see your friends and that kind of thing, but I didn't realise how happy and how myself I feel when I'm around my friends. And I know that probably sounds really contradicting, because I was I need some alone time, I need some introvert time, but also I think I just needed some time with my friends as well, and that was so lovely. One of my friends has just gotten into a new relationship, so there was a lot for us to all catch up on and chat about, and I don't know, it was just really lovely. It was really nice. And so yeah, if you're feeling a bit meh, either, obviously it depends on how you're feeling, but you might need some alone time, really, or you might be having too much alone time, you need to see your friends. For some reason, I need a little bit of both. I think also when I go away, I think it just exhausts me quite a bit, especially the journey there. We drove from England to Germany, which you guys heard was quite a lot. So I don't know, I feel way better now. I feel like myself again. I just had a little day, or I just felt a bit meh, really. So I don't know, I feel it's also been nice, I don't know if I've ever really talked about this, but I have a scrapbook, and I got a bit behind on my scrapbook, and whenever I do my scrapbook, it makes me really happy, because I kind of I have one of those little portable printer kind of things, and it prints out photos kind of the size of a Polaroid, and then I print out 6 photos from that week of 6 things that have made me happy, or 6 things that I've done which I'm proud of, or I don't know, so if I meet up with my friends, get a little photo of my friends and I stick it in my journal. And this probably sounds really sad, and you're probably Esme, what are you doing? But it's something that I've actually done ever since I kind of turned 18, really, ever since I left school, because I wanted to document kind of what I got up to doing YouTube, because I know it's something that won't last forever, which I'm so grateful for. So when I'm, old and, grey and, I don't know, can't ride horses anymore because I'm too old kind of thing. Although I definitely feel like I'm going to be one of those grannies that has a cob and goes and does dressage on like a Wednesday afternoon every week, and I feel like I'm gonna try and be one of those grannies that just keep going. Like, I'll be in my 70s and I'll be like going swimming and stuff like that, but I feel like when you do get older, maybe that does it changes a little bit. It's a little bit more hard work, but I don't know. So yeah, it's one of those things that I want to be able to look back on and be like, I don't know, that was cool. That was a cool part of my life, kind of thing. So I do have a scrapbook that I've literally done every single week since I was 18. I'm now 22. So I think I've got at least 3 or 4 scrapbooks now, which is wild. But yeah, I just write down like a few sentences of what I did each day, things that made me happy, things that I was proud of. And it really does make you, I don't know, doing my journal really does make me happy, because I feel like sometimes when you're feeling a little bit meh, like, just looking back on that and be like, oh, look at all the fun things I did and that kind of thing, just makes you happy. So if you're feeling a bit meh, that's another little idea. But no, so I got caught back up on my scrapbook, and that made me really happy, like, and just had a little bit of time on my own, like in the cottage. Like, I felt like I had quite a lot of time away from home as well, and I feel like I'm a very homey person. Like, I really enjoy being with my friends and my family and being at home, and I don't know. I'm feeling good now. I think it was just like a little weird. I think everyone has like a little weird day where they feel a bit meh, or they feel a bit tired and they're like, oh, I've probably done a little bit too much. But yeah, anyway, I think I really, when I think about it, just really needed to recharge my batteries. I think I just kind of, burning the candle from 2 ends, or whatever is that the phrase? I feel like I'm really bad at remembering phrases exactly how they're supposed to be. But yeah, I think I just worked myself a little bit too hard and just needed some time to just chill out, just be alone with my own thoughts. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. I think also, like, social media can be quite like a busy place, and I feel like I've actually been really good at not going on social media when I'm at the cottage and when I'm at home. But obviously, because I haven't been home much, I've probably been going on a little bit too much. I don't know. I think that's also another reason why I was saying I really enjoyed Threads. It's just not loud. It's a nice quiet place. I've been enjoying Pinterest. That's my new thing that I like going on, looking at cute like interior design stuff, because it's just quiet. Like, sometimes I will, if I go on Reels or TikTok, I will go on it without the sound on. Is that really weird? Because I find it like a little bit too loud sometimes, especially if it's the same audio going over again. But anyway, I feel like I'm just repeating myself now. But anyway, let me know if you're the same, if you're an introvert and you just need a little bit of introvert time. But also, it's nice to see your friends. I feel like I get energised from them too. So, I don't know, maybe I'm like a in-between. Well, no, I'm definitely an introvert. I love people, but I do just need to sit in a quiet room of my own with a book sometimes, or just vibe. So anyway, I hope you all have a lovely week, or have had a lovely week, because this goes out at the weekend, what am I saying? Thank you again to Red Post for sponsoring today's podcast, or, the podcast in general. I hope you enjoyed listening to it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!